Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk It Out Tuesday. I'm so excited because this week we actually have Paige back. Yay!
Yay!
But not next week because she's having surgery. So, and it'll be me again. Bummer. So today we're talking about Instagram for desktop. So Paige, I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay, so you guys know here on Talk It Out Tuesday, we always try to give you guys some tools and techniques, all that have to do with technology and how to make your lives much, much easier. And today, I'm going to be talking about Instagram and how you can leverage that and use that using your desktop. As we all know, Instagram started off as a mobile app, like you could really only do everything on your phone. But in about the last 18 months, they've really upped their game in adding different functionality where you can use it from your desktop or your laptop, right? And that's what I want to want to talk to you guys about today. Some hacks that you can use to make your life so much easier. So in the past, it would be you'd have a picture on your phone or you'd have a picture in your camera that you really want to upload to Instagram. You'd to upload it to the cloud, then download it to your phone, and then get it onto Instagram. Well, I'm going to show you guys a couple different ways that you can just have it on your computer and then utilize Instagram, to the best of your ability. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So there's two different ways that you can do this. The first way I will show you is actually through the actual Instagram app, like the actual Instagram.com on your desktop. So I am going to share my screen and hopefully all of this works because, I'm famous for technical difficulties. I'm going to share, and this is, I just simply went to Instagram.com. If you guys can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Give me a thumbs up. You can see Instagram. Okay, perfect. So it's just like I said before, it is just Instagram.com. If you are logged into Instagram, your profile in your feed will come up automatically. So as you can see here, here is my profile. Here are some of the suggestions of people for me to follow. That all comes over on the side. And this is actually my feed. The same feed that you would see if you were on your mobile device. Okay. So super excited that you'll be able to see all of these things on your desktop. But what I want to really go over are some of the features. So this house button is the home button. Okay. This next one, I almost lost my mind when they did this. This is actually your direct messaging. You can actually send messages to people right from your desktop, just like you would do with Facebook Messenger. You can send messages here. Okay, so you can type to people. See, Elaine and I, we were talking yesterday, and I sent her something, and she was like, "What?" So this is where you can actually write a message to someone, and this is great because you don't have to do it on your phone. Now, some of you may not, but I actually have two different sections in my direct messages. One is for primary, where I can allocate who are my primary people, and one is for general, which is basically for like randoms who email me. Right. Someone says, "Do you speak another language?" Dude, I don't know you, right? So he's just kind of in the random section. Did you get Samantha? Okay. So I have the capability of doing that. And then there are people that I don't know that we aren't connected to or in any sort of way. And this is a request, someone who's requesting to communicate with me. So you will find out if you have this when you go into your direct messages, either on your mobile or on your desktop, but it's pretty cool. You can write people right in the section. I feel like, Kari, do you have a question? Yes, you are muted. I can read lips.
Good, because no, I do not have any questions. I'm just following along.
You're just following along. Okay, great. All right. So this is what the DMs are. So direct messaging is what the DMs. So if you hear someone say sliding into your DMs, this is what they're talking about. And like I said, up until 6 months ago, the only way that you could communicate with people was on mobile, but now that you can do it on your desktop, that's great. This little compass is the explore section. If you've ever looked to see, like what's happening on Instagram, that's kind of like your magnifying glass. So it pulls up all sorts of information, of people, that kind of thing. The little heart is where your notifications are, like someone liked your photo or they gave you a comment or that kind of thing. So that is all where the heart is. And then your little picture is your actual profile. So that's where I'm going to go to next, perhaps. There we go. So this is actually your profile on Instagram. And it shows how many posts, followers, all that kind of stuff. You can edit your profile right in here. So if you wanted to change a title or change an email or change your website, you can do that right here through the edit profile. And then this little gear, we all should know by now that the gear means settings. So if I hit that settings gear, it says I can change my password, here are the apps and websites, notifications, all that kind of stuff, right? All my emails, I can log out, I can report a problem. So anything that you can do on your mobile, you can do on your desktop. All right, and then here is my actual Instagram feed, right? Some of you may be following me on Instagram. These are the things that you see on my feed, as well as my highlights. Do you guys remember where highlights come from? Okay, so highlights are, it's a folder per se for your stories, for your Instagram stories. If you have an Instagram story, your Instagram story stays on Instagram for 24 hours unless you save it to a particular highlight, which is essentially like a folder. So highlights are here. You can have an unlimited number of highlights. So I have a few highlights. And if you can see, all I have to do is just hit the little arrow and it'll go over. So you can have an unlimited number of highlights, folders. However, in each individual highlight, you can only have 100 stories. So that's 100 pictures or videos. And when you add a new one, when you get to 101, guess what happens? The oldest one falls off. So for Kari, if you have chicken recipes, you can just do chicken. And then you could put all your stories, chicken recipes in that. And then you can have one for beef, you could have one for stir fry, whatever it is, right? So highlights are really great because stories are actually one of the biggest products right now on Facebook and Instagram. Snapchat had it first, Instagram kind of swiped it, and now Facebook is leveraging that. So you will also see an increase in stories on Facebook as well. And on Facebook, you archive them instead of put them into highlights. Okay, so if you guys want to see what a highlight looks like, so here is, I'm just going to click on this highlight, and it's whenever someone's picture has a little circle around it. So here is from last year when I went to Italy. Okay, so it's my Italian highlight. And if it will automatically go to the next one, but if you want to advance, all you have to do is hit the arrows, and you can, skip through them. But it's just a great way to share some behind the scenes of what you're doing. They're fun stickers. We've talked about Instagram stories before. So it's just a great way to kind of capture all of, your memories, as well as people are using it for, like I said, behind the scenes, what's happening now, real life stuff that isn't so curated. Okay. So you can see all of these, your highlights are like all right there. I'm like, orange juice, really? That's what they're orange juice. So it was blood orange juice that day. I was like, can I have an orange juice, please? And there we go. So you can see all of this right on your desktop, which is fantastic. Okay. Now, the other thing that's really interesting about using your desktop is IGTV. You guys have heard me talk about that. It is Instagram's solution to long form video. You can upload a video for up to 10 minutes. So if you have a video from your camera or from your phone that's on your desktop, all you have to do is hit this little upload button on your computer. You don't have to worry about transferring it or any of those kind of things. You just hit upload and it will upload it. If you're going into, it kind of shows statistics as well as to how many people have viewed, right? Like 890 people viewed that particular video that I did. 209. It's because I have, analytics on my site, but you can see who made the comments, and you can do all the things that you do on your phone right on the desktop. Then there's saved videos or saved items. If you saved any posts or pictures, you can click that and see which ones that you've saved, right? And then if you're tagged anywhere, you can also see if anyone has tagged you. Like I believe I was tagged here by Elaine for her potty mouth pep talk. So she tagged me in this post. All right. So I like using, this is just a really good way to get familiar with Instagram on desktop. You can, like I said, you can type things out. For me, it's easier to type. Maybe it's, easiest for you on your mobile, but I'm trying to give you some solutions on desktop. So that is specifically the Instagram app. Now, this is great. The one that I actually use the most is the Facebook Creator Studio. Does everyone remember the Facebook Creator Studio? When we kind of talked about that. So Facebook Creator Studio is attached to your Facebook account. If you have a business manager account, you are able to do your functionality for both Facebook and Instagram. As you can see here, here's Facebook. I'll just click on that so you can see it. It'll be blue, where you can do all sorts of activities on Facebook as well as Instagram. Okay, so I'll go back to the Instagram page, and it's whatever pages that you are an admin on. Now, there is a limit to this. It's 5. Okay, especially when it comes to Instagram, there are only 5 accounts that you can actually have access to do this on. So you want to make sure that if you are doing this for, as an agency, you want to make sure that you all, where you are. And what's nice is that this little drop down up here tells me which account that I am using. So you all know that I'm the marketing director for Polka Dot Powerhouse. So that is why I have access to Polka Dot Powerhouse. If I did not want to see those, the statistics and all that kind of stuff, all I had to do was, uncheck that, refresh, and then we'd be done, right? Like I don't have to worry about it. But what's nice about this is that you see all of the content. So I get to see all of the content for both Polka Dot and for myself. Here are all the videos that were posted, and it tells me if it was published, how many likes. So it's really a nice snapshot of whatever kind of analytics, right? Here are photos, here are the carousel, here are the stories, here's the IGTV. So it just really helps you get a snapshot. But what's nice over here is that you can create a post. You can either do something for the Instagram feed or for IGTV. So I'm just going to pick the Instagram feed. And what do you think it's going to do? It's going to ask me, where do you want to post it? Which account you want to post it to? So this is a great way to not make a mistake and post something on, an account that you don't want it to be on. So it's, it's like a double check. So I'm going to hit Paris by page. And then you can upload your content. So you can choose your videos that you like to upload. You can write your caption right in here. You can add emojis right in here, right? And then it says, do you want to connect it automatically to your Facebook page, to your business Facebook page? So you can say, yeah, I want to do that, right? So I can say, yeah, I want to do that. Here, I'm going to type something in super quick. This is cool. So I'm going to click that. Yes, I want to do that. It's probably not letting me do it right now. Here, add a picture. What I think we might have showed you before, what I'm trying to show you is that, oh, here it goes, file upload, or where do I want to get the picture, right? So I'll just say file upload. I'll just pick this photo. It will pop up. And if I say that I want to also put it to my Facebook page, what's nice about this is I can say that I want it to go at the same time, but I don't, because I like to spread my content around. So this is another hack for you. I schedule it for like a different day. So let's say that you on your business page or on whatever page you're an admin for that's connected to this, on Wednesdays, that's normally when you do your post, right? But on Instagram, I post like every day. So I can actually go and I can schedule this to go out on Wednesday. So today it'll go out on Instagram and tomorrow it'll go out on Facebook. So that helps me spread my content out throughout the week, right? So this is a great way for you to do this. Or let's say you have a course happening or a campaign happening. You can go in and schedule these things, like schedule, 2 weeks out of post. So that's what I really like about doing the Facebook Creator Studio. Does that make sense? So even though I'm about to post on Instagram, this won't post to my Facebook page until it's scheduled. So that, I think that that's pretty cool. And then in the advanced settings, you can say if you want comments, if you have a business partner, or that kind of stuff. So being able to do this, I'm just going to close this out because I do not want that post. Being able to do this here on the desktop totally saves time, especially if you have a lot of pictures, or especially if you're running a campaign where you have a course or a class or a workshop or a webinar that you want to, promote. You can go ahead and schedule all those things out in Facebook Creator Studio for both Facebook and Instagram, and then you're all set to go. Okay. Now, so that's the post. It shows all the posts. It shows all your insights, like who, we'll just pull up this one. Who is, how many profile visits that you had, how many people were reached with your post, all that kind of stuff. Monetization, I'm not going to get into that, but you guys get the idea of that. So using either the Instagram app directly or the Facebook Creator Studio are two of the main ways that you can post on Instagram from your desktop. Now, the last way that I like to interact with Instagram is through a third-party app. Now, there are a couple different ones. I can make sure that I think we put it in our original Instagram module that we did here with Talking Out Toolsday. And that is things like Later or Plan or Planoly. I happen to use Plan, and I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So this is how I plan out all my pretty pictures. So if you guys are saying, oh my God, all her pictures always look like they all go together, ladies, this is it. This is how I do it. And this is nice because you can move things around. Like, let's say I don't want that picture there. All I have to do is move it with a click of a mouse, and it just changed the pictures for me. And so I happen to like the grid. Elaine also knows I'm a huge calendar person. Hello, I got to see my stuff in calendar form. So I like this particular app because it gives me the opportunity to see what it looks like in a calendar, and you can schedule this stuff out. So it says I have 17 scheduled right now, a couple of things pending, but look, it has all my little pictures here where I can see what I plan to do on Instagram. And this is a third-party app. It also has posts and stories. They do have a free version where it's just the post. But this is one of the ways when you guys see the gurus and all those beautiful feeds, they're using something like this. They are not sitting there on their phones posting this. They are using these tools that are out there. And so you can upload your media in different folders. They have hashtag lists that you can put in here. I mean, there are just so many different functions. If you guys want to chat with me about different apps that are like this, I'd be happy to do that. But here are like my hashtag lists. So I have lists for books, I have lists for my family, for Black travel, for stationery, right? And literally in the app on the phone, all you have to do is copy and paste it. And it'll keep all of those hashtags for you every single time. So you don't have to recreate them. Yep, Kari, go ahead.
Is that just for, is Plan just for IG, or does it help you plan your Facebook, your IG, your Pinterest?
So you can use there are other apps that are, do you see this here? I went into my workspace.
Yeah.
Facebook is right here.
Okay.
So Plan is just for Instagram and Facebook. There are some things like Tailwind. I don't know if you've ever heard of Tailwind. It's for Pinterest, but it's for Pinterest and Instagram. And then later, I believe, has all of them. So you have to think about what's going to work for your business. I am not a big fan of one app doing everything for me. That's just me personally, because if that particular app shuts down, I'm screwed. So that's just my own personal thing. But I like being able to have the capability of having those advanced features and functionality, if that makes any sense. So even though I am not using this for my Facebook page currently, I like to know that that is there, that I could use that. Does that make sense? I'm more of a proponent of doing it in the natively to the platform, which is why I'm utilizing Facebook Creator Studio, why I'm utilizing what the actual app is giving me, because they tend to give a higher preference to people who are natively using their app. You get a little tuck in the algorithm because you're using that versus something else, if that makes any sense.
I mean, when you're using Facebook Creator for IG, you get better hits than you do if you're using something like Plan, which is third party.
So here's what happens with Plan. So when it comes to Instagram, Facebook does not allow any third-party apps to post into their application. So what actually happens with Plan is that it will send you a message that tells you it is now time to post on Instagram. And it will copy it for you, and it'll put it right into Instagram for you via your phone or via the desktop.
But
It is not going to go
do it. Is that what you're saying?
with Plan. You still have to do it, because for Instagram, Facebook is not letting anybody into their system. They stopped that about 4 years ago. I don't know if you remember, we used to be able to do Buffer and Hootsuite and all this other kind of stuff, and it would look like it was just right from your feed. And then Facebook decided, well, you know what, it isn't ours. So then they decided to start adding a little tag that said added by Buffer, added by Hootsuite. And then they decided that they were not going to give it as much play and not give you as much love in the algorithm. And so then they ended up creating, based on need, right? Because people were going to third-party apps to do these things, this functionality. So then Facebook and Instagram and all these other kind of folks decided to build it within their own platforms. Okay. Any other questions? So first off, I would say Instagram app is great. That's what I would recommend first. Well, second. Facebook Creator Studio is really what I would recommend because you're able to see all of your things in a snapshot, and it's super connected to Facebook and Instagram. Then the Instagram app. And then if you want to have any sort of features where you're planning your things out, you can use Planoly or Later or Plan to be able to have that functionality. I'm a visual person, so being able to see all of my media in one place and being able to move it around is what works for me. That may not work for you. Other people do things like you can also do this in Trello, right? And put all your things and all that kind of stuff. So it just all depends on what works for you. So here I have different folders with like all my flower pictures, my family pictures, you know. So if I click on family, you'll see all the little pictures that I've added for future use, right? And then all I got to do is just drag it over. So I'm an organizer by, you know, by default, and I like to have all of those things in one spot. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple questions now. If anybody has any questions on any of the things that I've talked about. Elaine, did you have anything that you wanted to add right away? She's like shaking
One thing
her head.
that is creating your highlights. That was like the one thing that when I was trying to like figure out how to do everything was creating like the little buttons, and you see how Paige's buttons are all very cohesive, and how do I get those buttons, and how do I make mine pretty, and what am I going to do it with, right? So some of the research that I did about it was basically like, think about this as your website. When you can put it into that context and give people like a brief synopsis of what they would see on your website, you can utilize these little highlights as kind of, you can curate content that will kind of match maybe what's on your website. So think about it in that terms. And you know, Paige has like all these really great stuff because she's all about traveling. So it makes sense for her to have all of that kind of stuff on there, as where Kari might have stuff that's more about tools and about meal planning and about recipes. And hello, Jax. Good to see you, buddy. He just got here, so now he's like, ah! And like, you know what I mean? So you can separate those little highlights and then create stories and then be able to like be intentional about it. So that's kind of the thing that was really, you know, when I was like, how do I get these buttons on my profile? Because I didn't know. And so then I had to go research that. And that's when I learned about, oh, okay, that makes sense. And using Canva, you can use Canva to create stories. Like they have stories templates in there that you can map it out. What do you want to say? How do you want to do it? You know, create a whole story around all of the tools that you need, and, you know, the classes that you want to teach, Dixie, and, you know, stuff like that. That's all I'm going to add.
That was a wonderful addition.
Thank you.
This might be for another Tuesday, but you're saying that you need to go into Canva to create your highlights, your stories.
You can do stories. You can create your, you know, any graphics, Instagram graphics. You can also use it to create your little buttons. Paige, what did you use to create your buttons?
So I use something that's called Highlight Maker. It's just a little app, a free app, and they have so many different designs. And if you just want icons, I chose words, but if you just want icons, sometimes you guys will see that in people's profiles. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it, but Canva is a great source. And Canva also, like she said, has the stories templates. So you can see that. Do you want me to quick pull up Canva? So let's see here. So you can see it's nice because a lot of our tools that we are currently using, they're really coming up and helping us make these other things happen, right? So by having, they'll have like a 5, usually it's 3, 4, or 5. So I'm gonna type in Instagram stories, maybe. It's taking a really long time because I am sharing my screen right now. So let's see here. So Instagram story. And they have all of these templates. So it has a blank template. It has a couple of ones, but I'm just going to pick one. Because normally there's 3 or 4 pictures. So here's a 3 photo minimalistic Instagram story, right? So you can add 1, 2, 3. And on the bottom here, it shows you what the story is. So it's going to have all of these options in that template for you to choose from. So if you want to have a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 story Instagram story, you would just pick those, insert what your photos and what text or captions you want to say, and you could just use this template if it works on your brand. So it's nice because you'll be able to do that. Like, I love this. You might see this next week on my story. And all I have to do is, put one of my pictures in here and then type in whatever text that I want to have at the top. Does that make sense? So it gives you a nice template to be creative, and you just kind of make it your own, but you don't have to come up with all of this design work. It's all been done for you. And that's just right in Canva. And of course, like I said, you'll want to pick ones that are, for your brand. Okay.
Can you show them, like, you see the little Ask Me Anything story? In stories, can you show how to utilize a feature like that?
I'm sorry, where are you at? I can't.
So there's, if you scroll down a little bit, there was a this or
right here,
and then there's a Ask Me Anything button, that one right there. Like in stories, as you're setting up stories, how people can utilize a feature like that to get engagement and stuff like that, because everybody has different tools based on you have different features like that I don't even have, because you're as the micro influencer, like being able to create the story and have those features.
Okay, so it says Ask Me Anything. So this would be the template that you would get, and you'd get to Ask Me Anything, and it says place your question sticker here, right? So this is something that you would have to do inside of Instagram, like once you're actually on the app, right, to do that. Okay. So you have to do that on your phone. That's one of the features that you'd have to do on your phone. If everybody got their phones, if you have your phone near you and you went to add an Instagram story, so you would take that and you would put it on, and you would go to a sticker, if that makes any sense. Does everyone know what I'm saying? You don't know what I'm saying?
There's a little half smiley face with the little curve up. It looks like a little smiley face.
It's on the top. It's 3 over from the right.
Right, that little guy right there. That little smiley face guy.
See it now.
That's the sticker.
That's the sticker. And then you would want to go and do a question or a poll, depending on what you're asking.
Mine does not look like that at all.
Yes, it does. I'm kidding.
That's
Because
what
you're
I've
not
got.
No, okay,
not
so
in
you
story.
need to go make a story. You need to make a story. So the way that you make an Instagram story is either on your profile picture, there's a little blue plus, or you swipe to the right.
Okay.
Now just pick a picture, or it should be on there. Do you see the little sticker yet? You're so funny. When you see the sticker, then you can ask a question, you can do a poll, you can say DM me, or maybe you don't have DM me, I have DM me. Do you have that, Elaine?
Let me look. So what you're going to have to do, this is how you're going to have to do it. You can create your stuff in Canva, then go into
Yep.
the Canva app, download it to your phone, and then upload, and then it'll be in your photo reel, and then you can add that to your stories and then add in the question. So it's a little complicated, but it's what you have to do.
If you're planning to use that,
Right.
feature.
Right. Yeah. So so I have location, mention, hashtag, donation, register to vote, music, poll, GIF, questions, countdown, the little slider, love slider, and quiz. And so those are like some of those little features that I have. I know you
And
have.
I have more features. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have more. So I have like music, and I have DM me. Yeah, I have a lot more. I have gift cards. I have all sorts of things, but it's just a great way to interact with your audience. And
And so
yeah,
now here I clicked on question, and now I can add in ask me a question, and I can place that on that graphic where that little button was on Canva, where you could just, put that right there. So you can change the, like, do you prefer this or this? Or you could, tell me your favorite XYZ, right? And relate it to either your business or something that you want to have a conversation, and it'll give you engagement. People love to tell you their opinion, so let them tell you their opinion.
yes, you can let
So
them tell you.
So I have a picture of I have my potty mouth planner picture up, and I'm going to ask an engaging question about, do you use a paper planner or digital planner? And let's see what kind of things I get. Digital.
So for planning out content and getting a really good handle on what you want to share with people, using the desktop is great. At least for me, like I said, I love to be able to type. I love to be able to copy paste, like captions that I've already written. That's another thing I want to talk about is I save my captions in Google Keep, which is like a note-taking app, so that I have a few different options. So I have a whole bunch of captions that I write in setting, and then I have all my pictures that you saw on plan, and then I kind of match them together, caption with the picture. Okay. But I utilize like opportunities to write at different times, may not be the same day that I'm posting. So I utilize that time to my advantage. Sorry, my fern is saying hi. To my advantage, because I have a lot of things to say, right? And I may not say them at the same time. but I like to have a note app. So all I have to do is copy and paste it, and then bam, bam, boom, I'm done.
So now if you guys go to Facebook and you click on my little picture, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see my little question that I made on there in my stories. Then if I decide I want to make it a highlight, then I go to it and I click on that little highlight button at the bottom, and it'll ask me which highlight do I want to do. And then I could click a new highlight if I wanted to create a story or a highlight based on my planners, for example. Does that make sense?
Sort of. I have 2 questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So on Insta, can you share someone's post?
Yes.
Okay.
You can share someone's post. You have 2 options. You can either repost it using a sort of repost app, or you can share someone's post to your story, which is what I tend to do.
Okay.
Like if I see something super funny, all you have to do is hit that little arrow button. It looks like a little flying airplane, and it'll give you the option to share to someone's story, to share to your story. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and share Elaine's little story that she just did. And it's going to give me an option to share it to my story.
Right.
Especially if someone tags you.
You can share to stories, but I haven't figured out how to share it to your feed.
Right.
So
the only way to share it to your feed is a repost.
And how do you do
that? And that's a separate app. That's a separate app. You would have to download a repost app.
Gotcha. Because I can never figure out how to do that. Because I'm like, ooh, I really like that and I would love to share that. I can't share it. I can only share it to stories. I couldn't like share it to my feed.
Okay, nope, so that was question 1. So question 2 is, if I have a personal account, and I think I already know the answer to this, but I'm not sure. If I have a personal account as opposed to a business account, can I schedule out posts? Or do I need to use a separate app? A scheduler.
If you use Facebook Creator Studio, you should be able to schedule posts, but you would not be able to do that in anybody else's third-party app.
Okay, so if I had my own Insta account, my personal Angela Nuss Insta, I wouldn't be able to do that then because I wouldn't be posting it from a business.
From Facebook Creator Studio, no.
Okay.
The only way you're going to be able to schedule is through Facebook Creator Studio.
So no Hootsuite or any of that?
Well, you can do Hootsuite, but it's going to give you a reminder to post it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks.
And you can go back and forth between a personal and business account on Instagram, right, Paige?
That is correct. So there is a drop down at the top of the page. Like I have 4 accounts that I rotate between. I think actually 5. And there's a drop down at the top. It's an arrow, and then I can pick which one that I want to do. You do not have to log out of the app, which is how it was like 3 years ago. You had to log out and then back in. Now it's just a drop down arrow.
Okay. I think that answered my question.
Okay.
I just can't create a personal Insta account and schedule out is what you're saying. I have to just go in and do it consistently.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is that if you use something like Hootsuite or Plan, you can go and do it all in that app and then just have it give you the reminder and then it copies it all for you. So you don't have to recreate it. You just have to create it once and then it'll give you the reminder with a copy with all your stuff. And then you just bloop, pop it in there. So that's what makes it easier.
Okay.
So you don't have to duplicate it is what I'm saying.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
Is there something you
Dixie,
guys want to learn how to do?
I was like, Dixie looks like she's ready to get on Instagram.
I'm just, there's just yeah, I just have to sit down and play with it because it's all kind of, oh my God.
Well, the beauty of it is you can't screw it up. So you play around with it, and literally, what's the
That's
worst?
right.
You can't
Yeah.
break it. You can't
Yeah.
break it. So
That's true.
Yeah, Laura's saying her too, Dixie. She, you know, and I think that that's the other thing is that you really have to evaluate if any of these apps are applicable for your business. They're going to make you more money or just take time away from you generating income.
but
Right?
Dixie, you have a great Instagram account.
Well, that was done when I had another company, I had GoDaddy posting for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just tried to log into it and it's not letting me in. So I need to find out what's going on. But
Okay.
yeah, I found that especially the younger crowd, they're the ones that saw me on Instagram, and it brought a few of them in the door, which
Right.
I haven't been posting since I let the third party company go. But then it was all around the time of COVID, so I don't know how
Right.
much it affected it. So
Yeah.
but this is something I know I need to learn and get comfortable with.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And Dixie, what is your Instagram profile?
Eastern Wind Glass.
Say that again.
Eastern Wind Glass.
With the crane?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dixie. You got to keep going because you have like the #1 color on Instagram, which is blue.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right, what does that mean? The #1 color.
Most people respond to the color blue in pictures statistically. It's calming, it's sea, it's trust.
That
Which
just
is why
happens
a
to.
lot of
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, which is why a lot of companies use blue in their logos, like banks and insurance and that kind of stuff.
And what's the #2 color?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, #2.
#2 just doesn't matter. It's just whatever's #1 is all that matters. Okay.
That's right.
Good
What
to
were
know.
you gonna say, Dixie?
I was going to say that I just happened to pick that. I mean, that's on my business cards and everything because it's my personal preference in color. So
Yeah, no, it's a great color. It's a great. No, that looks good.
thanks.
So then, Dixie, I'll just make a suggestion for you. If you're wondering, like, what's the difference between a feed, Instagram feed, and your Instagram stories, your feed is basically like your catalog.
Okay.
And your stories would be, you would like, you got a commission project and you would say, hey, we're going to pick out, you know, the glass for this today. And this is the person
Okay.
blowing the glass person. You know what I mean? You literally could do 20 stories on that, right? Like
Yeah.
20 little clips or pictures or whatever. And that's what would go into the Instagram story.
Okay.
And
That's
then the
good to know.
finished product.
Okay, because I'm just finishing up a commissioned stained glass piece. So, and I've taken pictures along the way, so that would be good to put it all together and get that posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 different ways you could do it. You could do a carousel, which is where you pick like up to 10 pictures on your feed of like
Okay.
from start to finish, right? And then you, once you're done, once you post that, you can also put that onto your Instagram stories,
Okay.
like the next week or something. Like everything doesn't have to happen in real time. You can stretch your content out as far as you possibly can while still being relevant.
Okay.
And a lot of things that I do, like the pictures that are just kind of like, but you know what? We are in Italy, so get a hold of yourself page. Those are the pictures that I put in my stories, right? And then all the fantastic money shots I put on my feed.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Any other questions? Because we are coming up to the end of time here. All right. Well, I so appreciate you guys. I hope you appreciated this kind of hack little session that we had today, because I tend to use my laptop a lot more. Well, actually, I'm lying to you right now because I use both. I use my phone everywhere I go. But I love being able to write and type, because you guys know I'm a writer, on my computer and not have to worry about typing with my thumbs. So that is one of the ways that I really utilize the desktop. I'm a visual person, so I like to, and my eyes are going bad now, y'all. So I like to have things that are bigger and not just on a screen, like on a phone screen, which is why I utilize my computer a lot more. So I'm hoping that, today you guys learned a few things, and that you can utilize some of these things to help build your business and your brand and to generate income for you if Instagram is going to be a part of your marketing mix.
And maybe maybe Paige, if you need additional help, you can reach out to Paige and she can coach you through that, through
Yep.
some of that Instagram stuff, because she's a pro.
Well, I'm pretty good at it.
Yes.
So I'm not a pro, I'm not a guru, but I know enough to be dangerous.
That's right. That's right. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.